Well, it's been a while since I've done a vlog here in Knoxville. Actually, I think the last time I did one here was sometime last year. For the first video of my summertime vlogging series, we are here at the Knoxville Zoo. It's been a while. What's up, you guys? Chet-Guthrie, the Dream Poet here, coming to you all with another fun-filled vlog. And we are finally out of the summertime fun vlogging series. It ended. I took a couple of days off, more than usual, to post a video. But I'm back on my feet. I'm feeling way better now, and it's time to get back into the grind. But anyway, guys, today we are here at Knoxville World's Park. Or maybe I should say Knoxville World's Park. Knoxville World's Park. Sorry, as you all can tell, I have a southern accent. But here in 1982, the entire city of Knoxville was full of life, a lot of celebration, a lot of interesting things going on. And that, of course, was the World's Fair. And by the way, did you all know that Knoxville, Tennessee is the smallest city in the world that has ever hosted the Knoxville World's Fair? And interestingly enough, here where I parked my car, this is a very interesting tie-in for what we're about to go find today. But this is the 1982 World's Fair walking tour, International International Pavilions. And it was here in this parking lot that you had kiosks and vendors from the United Kingdom, France, Italy, West Germany, and Mexico. And they were all in this little this parking lot right here. But anyway, here at this spot, you also had a Hungary pavilion, and in the Hungary pavilion, you had a giant 10-foot Rubik's cube. If you all didn't know, the Rubik's cube was invented in Hungary by Erno Rubik. There we go. And he anyway, that was his claim to fame. But that's going to be the first thing that we're going to check out today, and that's really why I came here to Knoxville World's Park, because I wanted to see the Rubik's cube. Yes, Atlas Obscura will take you to some very strange places, but the site hasn't done me wrong yet. In fact, it's made some pretty interesting videos, and this is something you don't see every day. Feels like this is just supposed to be this way, but if you look, here are some stairs, but they break off, and there are quite a few pigeons right there. Well, two of them. Whoop 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 whoop. Yeah, I just thought this was interesting. I saw this as I was walking over here. Just think, at one point people used to walk from this particular door or hallway or what have you, and well, nowadays it doesn't go anywhere. And now, after seeing that stairwell that seemingly goes to nowhere, we have made it to where the Rubik's Cube is housed, the world's largest Rubik's Cube. And I believe the Knoxville Convention Center, I believe this was constructed during the World's Fair. In fact, I think there were quite a few displays that were housed here. Now let's go inside and let's check out this really cool piece of history. And here in a corner, here it is, the world's largest Rubik's Cube. An artifact from a bygone era. Well, maybe not so much bygone. I mean, it was from the 80s. So I guess technically, I mean, it's been about 40-something years, about 46, 47. But this tells a little bit more about it. The Hungarian pavilion at the 1982 World's Fair was home to the world's largest Rubik's Cube. It was donated to the city of Knoxville after the fair. Please do not touch, which I totally agree. And now I believe that each panel weighed about, I think each panel weighs about 300 pounds. But Yeah, from head to toe, this thing is about 10 feet wide, 10 feet in diameter. Gotta think, it's almost 50 years old. And to give you a perspective on how big it is compared to me, I'm about 5'9", and even with it standing on its podium, it still stands about 7-8 feet tall. Wouldn't you like to be the person to figure out how to put all that together? In fact, I think the quickest time done for any Rubik's Cube, I think it was like 30 seconds or 15 seconds. But I digress. This is what I mainly came to see today. But now that my curiosity has been filled, let's check out the most iconic piece of architecture that came from the World's Fair in 1982. And that is the Knoxville Sun Sphere. There we go. I was going to call it the Sun, but it's the Knoxville Sun Sphere. And it is, not only is it iconic in the World's Fair, it's also iconic to the city of Knoxville. Huh. They painted it. The last time I was here was back in 2017. And I remember that day pretty, well, I won't say fondly, it was kind of a sad day. On that day, I was sitting in my Economics 101 class, and I had just gotten the news that Tom Petty was found unconscious and he wasn't breathing. And on top of that, my favorite toy store, Toys R Us, it had also filed for bankruptcy. So I was in a pretty sad mood that day. So what I did was I left class that early and I just walked around and I took a lot of photos. In fact, you know, you could probably look online on my personal accounts and Instagram and you could probably find it. But long story short, the beams going up to the sphere, those were originally painted black back in 2017. So it looks like they have painted it another color. And anyway, looks like we can go to the top. I heard from my family, or I should say my sister mostly, that they had closed off the top for a little while, but I think it was mostly for construction. But anyway, makes me also think of that episode of The Simpsons. Knoxville, Knoxville!
Knoxville, Knoxville, Knoxville!
In fact, looks like they're doing some more construction and renovation to it, which that's really good. Well, let's go to the top. This is something new. Apparently they have somebody that takes you on a tour every, sounds like every hour on the hour or every 30 minutes or so. So anyway, we're gonna get down there to the bottom. We're gonna take the trip up. That's new. I kind of like that they do tours like that. Makes it feel more professional. And now that is finally completed. Costs about $5 for admission for adults and $1 for children. But it's got a QR code down here, and it is every 30 minutes. But anyway, let's see what they got up here. When I was here last, back in 2017, they didn't have that. All you did was you just went up and you saw everything and came down. And here we are. Oh wow. Things may have changed a little bit, but this view never gets old. It's definitely changed since the last time I was here. Back when I was last here a few years ago, like all that was here was this view, you know, where you can see all the cars moving like little ants. You've got the view below from the bottom of the Sun Sphere, and I think on the top floor back at the time you also had a restaurant. Although I think times have since then changed here, or then. Oh, and look, they've also got a gift shop up here. I am really liking that they did this. Look at this old poster from the time. You've got some more gifts right here. Looks like this is oh, nice. That is a candle, a signature scent. And looks like oh, here's one of those painting things, or maybe a folk art painting thing of all the things that are here in this city. Put that right back here. And now this is really cool. Here are some of the old pieces of memorabilia from the World's Fair in 1982. You've got like these old school ceramic sun spheres, and it looks like these came from across the entire pavilion. Like, look at that. You even have the an old bell. But I think the one that I like the most is I like this brass sun sphere. And now that one right here, that one definitely looks old. And speaking of the Rubik's Cube, there's a Rubik's Cube right there from the Knoxville World's Fair. Got a beautiful woman right there, and you've got the Coca-Cola celebration. And I mean, it was a big deal back then. Like, this is a painting. Now we'll go outside and we'll take a look at a few more other of these what's left over from this period, in an amazing piece of American history. 1982 World's Fair, Southern hospitality. We got some World's Fair beer. I wouldn't drink that beer. That beer is probably green at this point. And awesome. They've got the Clydesdale and the Budweiser. And that's cool. That's a hat from a hard hat from the World's Fair. I mean, they have a lot of cool stuff here from back then. I mean, it was an amazing time back then. And here you can buy some ornaments. Looks like that Santa's ornament is a lot of money, so I'm gonna walk away from that. And that's nice. Look, they've got the big dumb cups for about $20. I don't know, ever since I saw that SNL skit, that's what I call them. I call them a big dumb cup. And I like that. I like that. Knoxville, Tennessee, and the most annoying football team on the planet. Look at, oh my goodness, look at this. There's a Knoxville News Sentinel ad for the World's Fair back in the time, or back then. Opening day at the fair. I wonder how much that is. Oh, $7. That's actually really cool. I might go get that. I mean, it's just a cool piece of history. Again, look at that painting right there. Awesome. Look at this. Look at this. I love this poster right here. And they even have some, what do you call them? Mini building blocks, micro blocks. Anyway, you can build the World Pavilion with said blocks. It's pretty darn cool. They've also got some more shirts right there as well. And right around the corner, they have an old school Pac-Man machine. Although, looks like it is missing a jig thing, whatever you call it. I got a seat right there. Probably just to sit and enjoy more of the view. I think we're about 70, 80 feet up. I think about 4 or 5 stories. I mean, but this is incredible. Heck, they even have a video going on of the 1982 World's Fair. I like this. It is a great way to celebrate this awesome time in American history. Oh, and I like that. I wish that something like that was for sale. That's granite. I think that's rose. Anyway. But, oh my goodness. I definitely like what they've done with it. This place feels like 1,000 times better than the last time I was here, like 7-8 years ago. And there is another piece of architecture from the time. This pavilion area, right here, that was a part of the World's Fair when it came to Knoxville. I like the water that runs beneath it. That's one thing that I've always liked about it, and coming here and just sitting and just enjoying the peace and mind that this park gives. It's really nice. And what do you know, we're running into the Rubik's Cube again. The fair's Hungarian pavilion was home to a giant version of what is now the famous Rubik's Cube. Developed by Erno Rubik, the cube became one of the fair's most recognizable features and an icon of the 1980s. Other objects of note include the computer at the U.S. Pavilion and its early public demonstration of touchscreen technology. So, I mean, touchscreen technology goes back even as far back then. I mean, this is really cool. I'm really proud that this city is taking the initiative to take pride in its history and its culture. What they did with the Sun Sphere makes me really, really happy. Kudos to you, Knoxville. And did I mention that as of the recording of this video, it is July 3rd, 2024. So it makes sense that they're putting stuff up for a 4th of July ceremony. I think this is where they're gonna put a concert. But I know that they do other stuff, like other events. And I could have sworn that there was a time when you could have swam in the water. But I wonder, I mean, I'm pretty sure that they must have did something with it. They must have had like some kind of paddle boats or something. That would have been really cool if the city of Knoxville had done that for the World's Fair. But I don't know, maybe I can find some pictures on it. And across this bridge there are two particular historical markers that have a very interesting story about them. So I'm gonna walk over here, see if I can't find them. They were here back when I was a UT student, and I don't think anything has happened to them in the time since then. Looks like the fountain no longer has any water in it, but you know, it's probably just because it's really hot outside, and maybe the city of Knoxville is just saving money. I mean, that's probably what's going on. Now, I'm not mistaken, but here along this railroad track right here that runs through town in the park, I believe there is a tourist train that runs through here periodically. Maybe we'll have to stop one of these days and maybe we'll do a vlog on it. I know eventually we got to do a train ride of the Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum in Chattanooga. Now that one's really cool. Like, that's probably one of my favorites. And voila, I have found it. It is this statue right here. That is a really interesting historical marker and a very interesting tie-in and connection with the city of Knoxville and a very famous composer. And that composer's name, his name was, one second. It was Sorgy Rachmaninoff. He performed in the Alumni Gymnasium on the campus of the University of Tennessee on February 17th, 1943. And what had happened is, well, as it said, it was his very last concert. In fact, he was en route to another performance, and he died along the way. I think he died of, like, I forgot what he died of exactly, but this was a donation from his country, and this is probably what he is most known for. Ray dies. So anyway, Sergei Rachmaninoff, last concert on February 1943, Knoxville, Tennessee. So it's cool that they have this here. His very last concert happened here in this city. In fact, here's a marker that kind of tells a little bit more about it or who donated it. Casting of the statue made possible by the fellow major donors: AmSouth Bank, Lucille Thompson Family Foundation, Dr. Monroe and Sandra Trout, the Haslam family, Public Authority, just all these other businesses that made it happen. Just a very sad, macabre and tragic tale, but it's an interesting connection to the city. And I'm not sure if this other historical marker is here at the park, but it may be somewhere else in the city of Knoxville. But it is a historical marker dedicated to the sinking of the USS Sultana. And I think it was one of the greatest losses of life during the Civil War. I think it happened. Anyway, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut because I know that my critics will tell me how wrong I am. But anyway, the USS Sultana, you can look it up. The reason why they have a marker here in Knoxville is because the survivors of that the survivors of that sinking used to have a big reunion here. And remember, kids, no swimming. It's tempting though, very tempting. This heat is very tiring. Well, luckily, I mean, fall isn't too far away. Oh wait, it's still 3 months away. So I guess I can forget that. And even then, since we're in the south, it's still gonna be hot. But at least there's this, the pavilion. Oh goodness. That, whew, that shade feels amazing. Think about all the performances that happened here at the World's Fair Park. Just imagine all the people that used to fill these newsstands, or not newsstands, all the people that used to fill these chairs. And just as we walked under it, we are now coming back out. Whew. Oh no, this sun, why? And now, since we've walked under it, got a view, got a feel for it, here is a little more history on the Tennessee Amphitheater. One of the fair's most surprising works of architecture was designed by German architectural engineer Horst Berger, using a then unusual tensile fabric design. Since then, Berger's approach has been used in several major buildings around the world. In 1982, the amphitheater drew crowds of shows by Chet Atkins, Leon Redbone, Richie Havens, and the Warsaw Philharmonic, and many others, as well as a daily musical venue called Sing Tennessee. It also hosted the controversial unwrapping of an ancient Peruvian mummy. I think that may have been, I don't know if that was during the World's Fair or not. I'll have to do my research on that one. That might be a really good video for another day. After the fair, the amphitheater was used for concerts and events, including a mayor inauguration. In the early 21st century, the city proposed tearing it down over concern about structural deterioration. A cadre of architects spoke up for it, calling it one of Knoxville's most significant and innovative structures, and saved with structural improvements. The amphitheater and the adjacent performance lawn is still used for concerts and festivals to this day. So, anyway, that is really awesome history right there. And from a distance, you might think this to be from the World's Fair, but it's not. This is actually National Cancer Survivors Day, 1996. I mean, it is one of the most horrible diseases known to man right now. But I really like how people took the time to paint all these. I believe it's paint. Look at the clown. That one's really beautiful too. That one's really beautiful. And as previously stated, this is the day before the 4th of July celebration. And this is a really big flag that they have floating in the wind. You know, it makes me think about what this country is dealing with right now. A lot of division, a lot of they said, a lot of political parties, both political parties, doing things that they shouldn't do. And it makes me feel sad that this is where our country's at right now. You know, and it makes me think about all the times about what my grandparents saw and what my great-great-grandparents saw and my grandparents. You know, they dealt with the Great Depression. They dealt with World War II, World War I. And it's just sad that right now America, it feels like we're on the verge of another civil war. So on this 4th of July, you guys, I don't know what particular faith or what particular beliefs you have, but you know, praying and meditating for this country right now is the best, because this country was founded on just getting away from a tyrannical government, and right now it feels like our own government is becoming tyrannical. You know, I don't think that's what our forefathers wanted. I forgot how beautiful this park actually is. This was a fun day trip to get out and just breathe a little after going to Florida and a few other places, riding my my Onto. By the way, that's a cool vlog too, I recommend that. It just feels good to just kind of get back into the swing for the end of the summer. But anyway, guys, remember, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. Always means a lot. Goes to show that y'all care. Now y'all want to see more awesome videos. So without further ado, you guys, this vlog is over.